Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today, we're diving into one of the most complex and controversial stories in tennis. Right now, Elena Rybakina's stunning victory at the WTA Finals. And the drama that followed? She just dominated the best players in the world. Took home a record-breaking $5.2 million. And lifted the biggest trophy of her career, but instead of celebration, the conversation is focused on her coach, her protest, and her relationship with the WTA itself. So, here's the deal. Elena Rybakina just won the WTA Finals in Riyadh, her first time ever taking that title. She wasn't even a lock to qualify this year, after a pretty uneven start to the 2025 season. But once she found her rhythm, it was lights out. Her game is pure precision, powerful, clean, and efficient. She controls every rally like a chess master, barely breaking a sweat while dismantling world-class opponents in the final. She beat world number 1, Aryna Sabalenka, 6-3, 7-6-0. With that trademark calm, icy composure we've come to expect. No huge celebrations, no tears, just that cool Rybakina stare as she held the trophy under the bright lights. But then, things took a turn. After the match, Rybakina was invited for the usual post-tournament photo, the classic setup. The winner, the runner-up, and the WTA CEO, Portia Archer. But instead of standing in the middle and smiling for the cameras, Rybakina refused. She stepped aside, made a hand gesture, and looked away. The result? A bizarre, almost awkward photo with the CEO standing only next to the runner-up, Sabalenka. It didn't take long for fans to realize this wasn't an accident. So what was that about? To understand the snub, you've got to know about Rybakina's coach, Stefano Vukov. Earlier this year, the WTA suspended Vukov for 1 year after an investigation found evidence of abuse of authority in both physical and verbal abuse, according to The Athletic. The WTA said Vukov had crossed serious lines, calling Rybakina stupid and worse, pushing her to exhaustion, and overwhelming her with calls and messages, even when they weren't working together. The investigation even noted evidence of a romantic relationship between the two, something WTA CEO Portia Archer herself referenced in a letter to Vukov, calling it toxic. Rybakina actually fired him back in 2024, but guess what? By early 2025, he was back coaching her again, even though he was still banned. After he appealed the suspension and entered arbitration, the ban was lifted in August. And from there, Rybakina's game took off again. With Vukov back by her side, Rybakina caught fire. She barely squeezed into the year-end finals, but once there, she didn't lose a single match. She beat 4 of the top 5 players in the world and played some of her cleanest tennis ever. It was like watching someone unlock their full potential. And yet, her win came with this heavy, complicated shadow. She was being crowned champion by the very organization that had banned her, coached for abusing her. It's one of those moments that feels both triumphant and deeply uncomfortable at the same time. After the final, journalists naturally asked about the photo snub, why she refused to stand next to the WTA CEO. Rybakina's response? She simply declined to comment. Later, when asked if she'd reconciled with the WTA after the whole Vukov investigation, she said, "Well, I think we're all doing our job, and we had the opportunity to have conversations, but in the end, they never happened." If you followed Rybakina, she's never been big on press or PR moments. She keeps things minimal, sometimes painfully minimal. But in this case, her silence spoke volumes. Not everyone was impressed with how she handled it. Tennis legend Pam Shriver, who's been outspoken about coach-player abuse in the sport, and who actually helped bring attention to Vukov's behavior years ago, didn't hold back. She wrote, "Imagine winning more prize money in one tournament than the entire original 9 over their collective careers, then dissing the WTA CEO because she tried to make the sport safer. It's hard to imagine." Shriver's point hit hard that this was a moment where the WTA was trying to set a new standard for protecting players, and Rybakina's public snub could be seen as undermining that effort. So where does that leave Rybakina? She's 26 at the peak of her powers, one of the most gifted ball strikers in the world, and yet She's working with a coach her own tour found guilty of abuse. Add in the fact that this whole story unfolded in Saudi Arabia, a country still criticized for its treatment of women. And the symbolism becomes almost too much to ignore. A champion standing tall, but surrounded by moral contradictions. Elena Rybakina's win was brilliant, no doubt about it, but it also forces us to look at the uneasy intersections of power, control, and ethics in tennis today. She's a player who thrives on composure and detachment. But maybe this time, that detachment said more than words ever could. So what do you think? Was Rybakina making a quiet statement against unfair treatment? Or was it a tone-deaf moment in a sport trying to evolve? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell for more tennis stories that go beyond the scoreline. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one.